all I've done is remove Ernie from the day-to-day. I've asked Tommy to take all the direct reports that were going to Ernie, and he'll report to me. I've spent one-on-one time with Scott just to tell him I expect us to work hard and play hard and continue to give the fans their money's worth. I think it's very, very important that we continue to play in a very professional, competitive way. No one made this decision other than me, and that was between me and Ernie as to what was acceptable for us to do this year. It wasn't being cavalier and saying that to those that who much is given, much is expected. We're in a beautiful new building, and we made big investments, and we all thought we could win 50 games and improve upon last year's performance, and we didn't. So I literally just got off the phone with both Brad and John and told them what had happened, what we were doing. And they processed and said thank you. But this all is happening in real time, so no one's really had the time to figure out what to do and say. 50 games came and went, the ability to win, and said we want to make the playoffs. And we were eliminated last Thursday or Friday morning, but the team was still on the road. And I thought it was appropriate to do what I'm doing now, to have a one-on-one with Ernie, and then come and talk to Scott, talk to Tommy, and try to talk to every single employee. And this was the timing, if you will. And so that's why today. Well, he didn't work for me for 16 years. And each year that he worked for me, we sat down and said, what are our expectations? What are our goals? And we're very, very thoughtful and mindful and spend a lot of time on what the goals should be. And we set that up this year, and we didn't meet them. And so that's what happened this year. I take responsibility. I really do think that that if you're a grown-up leader, that you have to do this. It's not fun. But we failed, and I failed. And so I don't want to fail. I want to do what's right, and I do believe in the collective wisdom of the people that Ernie brought in. We have really, really good staff. I just wasn't able to speak to them freely because everything rolled up to Ernie, as it should be. I mean, if I was going around, then you'd have bedlam. You can't have that kind of information flow. So I have to take advantage of this time right now to be here and learn and talk to people.
Welcome back, and there you have it. After 16 years at the helm, a 42% winning percentage, 8 trips to the playoffs, no trips beyond the second round. Yep. Ernie Grunfeld was relieved of his duties as president of basketball operations and general manager of the Washington Wizards. And here with us to weigh in with their thoughts are coaches Jimmy Fly Hellmann in studio and Coach Butch McAdams over telephone. Two men that have been calling for this for at least the last, ever since Coach Fly has been on the show.
7 years.
His first show.
That's a 7-year itch.
The first tape.
So what was your reaction when you first heard the news, Coach Fly?
I think I texted you, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Coach, I don't know if you could hear Ted talking there, but he just made a statement that blew my mind. He said everything rolled up to Ernie, and the owner of the team could not talk to any of the people that Ernie brought in. Are you kidding me?
That you know what, that explains why this franchise is in the shape that it's in. It's not going to make the playoffs. It hasn't won 50 games since when. And right now, they have an albatross around their necks in terms of salary cap with Wall and some other people. And you have one marquee player.
Right. Yeah. And but yet with all that, Coach, we're hearing rumors that there's a lot of interest from some top candidates. Mm-hmm. Number one, DC product Troy Weaver, who actually helped formulate the Oklahoma City team, and he has ties with Scott Brooks. Mm-hmm. The gentleman from Cleveland,
Griffin,
David Griffin.
But think about it. If I'm following Ernie and I get 16 years at $5 million a year, that's almost $100 million.
and I'm hearing people on the media talking about, well, you know, Ernie was a good guy, and you never want to see anybody lose their job. Yeah, Ernie may be a good guy, and this ain't personal, but you know what? Bank robbers eventually get caught.
Thank you, Coach. So do arsonists.
He was a bank robber.
So do arsonists. Because I'm going to say this, Coach. He's been there 16 years. And when you look, I read an article last week where it was a great article where a guy just took down every draft pick the last 16 years. This man passed over Steph Curry, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson. I mean, these are Hall of Fame, all NBA talent they could have picked. Who's running the scouting department over there that you can't see that some of these people, they had an opportunity to pick, and they're picking John Vesley?
That you can't defend the Vesley pick at all.
You can't defend half of the picks you saw in there.
You can't defend it. Listen, this guy, you asked Coach Fly what was his initial reaction. Coach McAdams' initial reaction was, what took you so long?
My reaction was, you were dancing
Ernie, I was there through the entire time covering the team, and Ernie did, when he first came there with Eddie Jordan and Gilbert Arenas before the Arenas era went down, they were really a downtrodden franchise, and Arenas brought some life into them. They got the big three. They had a playoff run, but then once that situation dismantled, he's had like 2 or 3 chances to tear down and build up, and Leonsis was not going to give him a third opportunity to do so.
He should have never got a second one. When the moment Arenas brought weapons into the locker room, he was the captain of that team, I believe.
Yeah.
That's when Ernie should have been shown the door.
What did that have to do with Ernie?
He is the one that brought these people in, paid Gilbert Arenas a truckload of money like he just did John Wall. Coach, I'm going to say this, and listen to this, 16 years. But Ernie's reign is actually going to extend to 20. Because whoever comes in, it's going to take him 4 years to undo the residual effects of the burn down. Because this was an arson. The gas was poured before the season. They brought in Howard and Rivers to light the spark, and it's been on ever since.
Well, as I said before, Ernie is a fireman arsonist. You know what? And so, look, the bottom line is your record. And the last time I checked, he was 200 games or more under 500.
It's more, Coach. I looked it up. It was 568 and 7 something. It's a 44% win rate for 16 years and 39% this year.
So what do you think about the names that you guys have been hearing, the Troy Weavers, David Griffin, and then the guy at Denver who helped build them over the last few years?
Well, I think all of them are good names. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I would love to see Troy Weaver come back. He's from the area. I've known him a long time. And, you know, obviously he is a tremendous evaluator of talent. You know, Griffin, you know, in Cleveland, I mean, once you pick a young or get a chance to get a young LeBron James, I don't know how much he's done there.
To be honest with you. Yeah,
Right.
to take the credit for it.
Well, the thing that Coach has said to me is critical. Evaluator of talent. Because they don't have that in the building, Coach, not from what I'm looking at. And the other thing, if I was interviewing any general manager, I'd want to know, what is your plan with John? Because if I just hear, oh, well, he's the best thing since sliced bread and blah, 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 he'll be no, I want to know what the exit strategy is. Because, Coach, he's going to be out all next year. You got bad knees and a blown Achilles. You depend on speed for your game. When he comes back, I don't think he's going to be half of what he was.
What if there isn't an exit strategy for him?
Then I'm not hiring you.
There would have to be a taker on the other end.
All right,
No,
who are they going to replace him with?
provision. I will pay.
Leonce is dumped. Once he realized they weren't going to make the playoffs, he dumped the salary because
I will
he was not willing.
amortize it like a mortgage
he was not,
over 30
he was not
years.
willing to go into the luxury cap.
Thank you, Coach. I'm in the mortgage business. I amortize
Butch,
over 30 years.
As always the case when we have you and your brother by another mother here, we could talk about this all night, but they're giving me the close signal. Coach, when can they catch your show?
They catch me every Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on WOL 1450 a.m. Hit me up on Facebook, Butch McAdams.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition. I know you enjoyed it. It was informative and action-packed, and you look forward for more discussion of the NCAA Final Four for men, late season action for the Washington Wizards and the rest of the NBA, preseason action for the WNBA, special features and interviews with the players and coaches from the high school, college, and professional basketball teams in the metropolitan area on future shows.
And remember, if it's on the court, we are definitely around the ball. And to all you aspiring athletes out there, remember to put your grades first to make your hoop dreams come true. I'm Nikki Lewis.
And I'm Andrew Dyer for the Roundball Report. Good night. Adios.